everybody. Welcome back to my podcast, The Journey of a Researcher. I'm your host, Kasturi Banerjee, and today we're going to talk about something that's going to prepare you for your future. After completing years of coursework and research internships, you're finally going to graduate in about 6 months. Congratulations! You're probably wondering about jobs you want to apply or programs you want to pursue. In this episode, I'm going to tell you how to prepare in the final year of your master's or undergrad level. Let's start first with your overall GPA. GPA is extremely important. Why? First of all, every company wants to hire a good student. Everybody wants a very good student. Second, high CGPA enables you to apply and get accepted in highly competitive programs, whether it's a Ph.D. or an MBA program in prestigious universities. A lot of high-ranking universities like Ivy League require a high CGPA as their base cutoff. If you don't match that GPA cutoff, they will not even consider you for their program. On an average, a CGPA of 8 out of 10 or a 3.0 out of a 4.0 scale is expected a minimum cutoff for a lot of job or program applications. So you technically should aim to have at least a 3.0 while you're going to graduate so that you can apply to a broad spectrum of job or programs. It's very important to maintain a good overall GPAs also because that's going to help you to keep your academic scholarships. Every scholarship comes with a minimum cutoff. You cannot go below that cutoff. Otherwise, you have a risk of losing that scholarship. And again, if you're a good student, you will qualify for a lot of interviews. So after you have taken care of your GPA, the next thing is going to be your internship experience. In episode 3, I talked about how to utilize and look for internships that will help in gaining work experience and build your resume. When applying for jobs, whether academic or non-academic, recruiters want to see that you have some level of hands-on experience, especially in the field that you are trying to get hired. I personally remember distinctively when I was rotating during my first year of Ph.D. program at UNMC, one of the PIs said that they offered me the Ph.D. position because I had a very strong internship background. I didn't know that my internship history was one of the deciding factor for UNMC to offer me the PhD program. And it helped a lot. Thank God I did those internships. Even today, I still see every time a rotating student comes through in a PhD program to a lab to see whether it's a good fit for their PhD or not, the more experience you have, the higher the chance that the PI is interested in hiring you as their grad student. Internships boost your hiring credibility, period. In today's world where everything is highly competitive and everybody is coming with very good GPA or coming from really good schools, you have to set yourself apart. And one of the easiest way to do that is doing internships and developing your skill set and telling the people, whether you're going for a job interview or a program interview, to say, hey, I know things. I have a certain skill set. I can learn things faster because I already have the experience and you don't have to waste time on me. So internship is very important to have a credible record of your experience. After doing your summer internship, there is a high chance if you are in a undergrad or a master's level degree that involves research as an important part of the course, you're going to do a thesis project. And thesis project is very important because it shows your research interest. Whenever you're going to write a statement of purpose, or what is your true passion, or why are you interested in our company, you are basically saying that this is where my research interest is, and I have been working steadily, getting internships and my final thesis project in the field that I'm truly passionate about. So that's why I am looking at this program, because it matches my research interest. Based on the overall trajectory of your master's thesis project or your undergrad thesis project, you might get a publication, which is fantastic because this is a proof that A, you are a smart kid, B, you know what you're talking about, C, that's a literal proof of your experience and your hands-on skills. But even though you don't have a paper out of your master's project, I didn't come out with a paper out of my master's. It is still very important that you do your project very well, because if somebody asks you a question related to your master's project, you should be able to answer or defend your thesis work. You don't want to give a half-hearted answer when the recruiters ask you a question about your thesis. They will see through that and they won't hire you. So be serious with your project so that you can defend it. Second of all, your thesis mentor is going to write the strongest recommendation letter for you. Any program or any job application you apply, not now, but also in your future, people will hire you based on the recommendations of people under whom you have worked. So if you don't do your thesis project seriously and you do not take that entire work seriously, you will not get a good recommendation letter out of your thesis mentor. They will write a more or less generic letter which you can search on Google. And you don't want that. You want to stand out. So for that, you have to do good work. So they write a really good letter. And personally, I have benefited a lot because I had good recommendation letters, whether it came to my Ph.D. program application or getting my postdoc job. Now, while you're working on your thesis project, this is something crucial that I want you guys to do. Start building your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, make one. Why? Because nowadays, your network means everything. The people you know, the contacts you have, your friend of a friend, your second, third connection is your best resource to get the job of your dream. There have been so many times that my connection, second or third connection, helped me answer questions regarding a certain job, regarding a certain position, which I could not understand reading the basic job description. But talking to them personally and them getting information that what exactly is required in that position or what they're exactly looking for, it helped me to build my resume, or it helped me clearly to give a very good interview because I knew what they were looking for. So I told them what I have that matches their requirement criteria. Making a LinkedIn profile might look just like making another account, but if you go into LinkedIn and see the kind of conversation happening today, you have to be a little bit serious. You can look into my profile. Anybody can access my profile and see how I have arranged it. It is a social platform way of showcasing your resume. And I'm going to talk about resume specifically after this small section. So, A, make a very good profile. Give as much information as possible. You will benefit nothing if you hide things. People will find a way to know about you. It's a contact system, it's a network system, so don't hide. If you have got a scholarship, talk about it. If you have got awards, write about it. If you have a paper, write about it. Second, make sure your profile picture is a professional profile picture. Why? Because this is a professional network. People will get an impression right off the bat when they see your profile picture. Sometimes I don't add people on my network because they don't have enough description in their profile, so I don't know who they are exactly and why will they want to connect me professionally if there is nothing in commonality, whether it's research work or experience or schooling, etc. And second of all, if they don't have an image, because I want to know with whom I am networking. Who is this person? Because anonymity does not help you, especially when you're trying to build a network. 3. Contact people whose job you're interested in. If you find a job, say a data scientist, and you're someone with a maths background or a computer background, and you're very interested in doing data scientist, go and look into your network and see who is doing data science or is working as a data scientist. And very politely ask them, like, hey, I'm interested in this kind of career. Since you are working as a data scientist, would you be kind enough to tell me exactly what kind of job is this? What you are doing? What kind of education you had? Did you do any internship? Just ask them how they prepared themselves for that job. Be courteous, be polite, and be inquisitive. Because when you come off with a positive vibe, people respond. Thanks to my podcast, nowadays I get a higher chance to connect with more and more people, but every single time I have connected with someone, it has been nothing but a pleasant experience. And I have learned so much with all these diverse people that I talk to. Half of them are from non-academic background that I didn't even know was possible to pursue after a PhD. So make a LinkedIn profile if you want to know what kind of jobs you can apply with the degree that you are pursuing. Again, be courteous. If somebody do not reply to you, it's okay. They don't know you. And if they do know you, they will respond. That's pretty much it. Also, LinkedIn has a mentoring program which allows you to connect with someone who is working on your research interest or your job interest. And I found it very helpful because I have been asked by people about my own research and postdoc experience, as well as I've asked other people about their industry experience or experience as a science editor, etc. And through one of such connection, I was able to apply to a job in industry, and fortunately it was not the right timing for me to join that position. But hey, at least I got an interview and I'm not complaining about that. It's not that easy to get hired as a scientist in such a competitive world, so I will take this opportunity. Okay, we have talked about networking and we have talked about looking into jobs and this and that, but you need something absolutely important. You need your ammunition, and your ammunition is your resume. Your resume is your life story. Your resume is your way of telling the world, I am good at this. Just give me the chance and I'm going to prove you. So your resume has to be the best representation of yourself. If you don't write a good resume, I'm sorry to tell you, your chance of getting hired anywhere or even getting accepted in any program is very, very, very slim. Mostly in academic setting, you are expected to apply your full CV Of course, as a undergrad or a master student, you won't have like a CV of 40 pages. If you do, please talk to me because I need to know how you manage to do that, and give me some tips, pretty much. But the chances are your CV will probably be 3 to 4 pages, which is fine. But if you are going into non-academic professions, it can be anything. You are bound to 2 pages. 2 pages is where you have to write your entire education history, your experiences, your research experiences, your technical skills, things you're passionate about, and why they should hire you, pretty much. It might not look much, but this is intense, especially for people who are in academia research. We don't get trained in this. We are used to giving CVs out to people because that's what is expected in the academic setting. So if you are switching from the academic to a non-academic profession, or to say scientific writing or journalism or something like that, writing this 2-page resume can be very daunting and hard. And I understand that. I have gone through that myself, and I still am learning how to write the right resume. What can you do? Here's a tip. Your resume should be based on the ATS system. What is ATS? It is an application tracking system. What happens is when you apply to a job, say through Monster or Indeed or LinkedIn or Glassdoor, anywhere, submit your resume, your 2-page resume, and this software, which is the ATS software, will screen your resume based on certain keywords, like say cell culture, flow cytometry, 5 years of experience, animal model, immunology. That's like a biology example. And chemistry can be like small drug molecule, synthesis, organic molecule, stuff like that. Like very important words that this software is looking in your resume. And based on how many words you match with the ATS system, it scores your resume. Only and if only if you pass the minimum cutoff in this ATS system is when your resume is actually going to a real human, to the recruiter, and they are gonna now look into your resume. They're gonna call you. They will do a telephonic interview, Skype interview. It depends from company to company. So if your resume cannot cross the ATS system screening and not rank really high in that system, even though you are the best person, they will not know about you. And if they don't know about you, they cannot hire you. So it's really important to understand what is an ATS system and how to write your resume, your 2-page resume that fits this ATS system. There is a website which I will ask all of you guys to throw in your resume. It's a free one. It's called zipjob.com, zipjob.com. And if you do the free ATS resume screening, it's a free 2-day turnaround screening. So you submit your resume, they will look for 48 hours, and they'll give you a response on how good or bad is your resume. And they will give you some tips. You just take those tips and modify the resume and then resubmit it. Bingo. Use the free resources. There are many such resources. Basically, improve your resume as much as you can, and the rest, leave it to the recruiters pretty much. Okay. So, overall, now you have all these plans. You're gonna work on your GPA, keep a good GPA. You have built your internship experience. You're working seriously on your thesis. You have made your LinkedIn profile, and you have figured out your best resume style of writing and you have analyzed it through this software or through this website. There is nothing else to do after this. The only thing you have to do after this is apply. Apply to jobs, apply to PhD programs, apply to MBA programs, apply to master's program, whatever your heart wants, pretty much. There are many websites. I think Monster and Indeed is some of my favorite website to look for non-academic scientific jobs because a lot of companies use them. And as my friend Martha said in the previous episode, look at startup companies. They are always looking for people. They might not pay you that much, but you start off in an industry if that's what you exactly want. There are other jobs like scientific writing, journalism, editing, illustration, etc., etc. So if you search on this website with what you have as a qualification, you will get variety of jobs that are open, whether it's in India, whether it's in America, whether it's all, somewhere else in the world. If you like it, apply for it. For academic-based job positions or PhD program, I like Glassdoor a lot because a lot of universities, both big and small, use Glassdoor to hire like lecturers, teachers, instructors, research professors. So look at that if you are interested in academic work. LinkedIn is again another best place to look for jobs, especially anybody if in your network works in a particular company and you're interested to join that company and they have a job position open that matches your expertise. Contact this friend of yours, contact this connection of yours, get a more in-depth idea about the position and then make a choice whether you are really interested in it or not, because you know more than a simple one-page job description. I can tell you for sure what they say in the page sometimes don't match exactly what they're looking for. So why don't you get that upper hand? Apart from that, if you're looking for PhD programs, you have to go through each university. Whether in India, you can go through CSIR, UGC NET, and other university entrance exams. For USA, you have to give GRE and TOEFL to apply for different PhD programs all over United States of America. Doesn't matter which university you're looking into. Of course, based on the overall ranking of the university, the cutoffs will vary. If you want to go into Ivy Leagues like Harvard, Yale, of course they're going to ask a lot more when it comes to GRE, TOEFL scores and CGPA. If you're looking for mid-ranking universities, that cutoff is a little bit reduced. UNMC was 6th ranking national hospital in US and number 1 in Nebraska, but they didn't have too high of a cutoff, but it was higher than the average university around that state. And I managed to pretty much pass all of those cutoffs, so they considered my application. And apparently my internship background was very important along with my recommendation letter. So study each program and see what is their cutoff, especially if you have not given a GRE and TOEFL exam right now. If there are a set of universities you are truly interested in, go into their program and see what their cutoff is and try to get that score when you're giving that exam. You can also go for MBA programs, which I know a lot of my seniors have done and a lot of my friends have done and a lot of my juniors have done. You can also go for masters in something else. You can do a law certificate degree. You can do a writing certificate degree. If you are interested more into patents, if you're interested more into writing, the world is an oyster and you pretty much can do whatever you want. These are the steps on how to make this process easier and help you guide your trajectory in a smooth way so that you don't get too much confused or lost, because it is overwhelming. It gets overwhelming. And to be honest, it doesn't matter which country you're from. If you are in research, when it comes to job, you are the one who's doing all the looking. There is no campusing for masters in research or Ph.D. in research people. So you have to work for yourself where you want to be. And I hope all the tips I've given today will help you in some way to make a good resume, to look for jobs, to make some connections, to contact, to network, and have a stronger base when you're applying for a job, and more confidence than where I was when I was a master's student. And I didn't have enough senior who has gone through a whole 11 years of journey to tell me exactly what to do and not to do. Don't get disappointed if you hear no from a lot of places. You are in research. You are in science. Rejection is a part of our life. We get rejected by journals. We get rejected by grants. We get rejected by scholarships. We get rejected by programs. Even our own data rejects us sometimes. So don't take rejection too deeply to your heart. Take it as a challenge. Apply to more places. Anywhere you get a positive feedback, or you get an offer, or you get an interview, give your best. Go with your confidence. People love confident people. It's a pretty much rule of this world. Well, that's all I had to say in this episode, and I really hope that these tips and this list will help you guys in a way to prepare yourself and you prepare your resume for your next job application or your next program application. I really want you guys to understand that in this competitive world, how important it is to approach a new area or new job. So I hope this helps. You guys are all welcome to look at my LinkedIn profile. Go look at some other people's LinkedIn profile that you are truly inspired by, or the work you want to do, and see how they professionally present themselves to their peers and to their future employees. Definitely get your resume checked through the ATS program. And I wish you all the best. And you guys gonna graduate soon. So that's fantastic. Again, congratulations. And if you have any more questions, you can always connect with me on LinkedIn. Please feel free to send me a message over the LinkedIn, or you can post on the Facebook page of the podcast. You can message me on the Facebook page of the podcast. You can also message me on the Messenger. You can write me an email at thejourneyofaresearcher@gmail.com. Whatever you guys want to do to get in touch with me, please feel free. This podcast is for you guys, so if you have any question, please don't feel shy to ask me. And thank you for all the support you guys have been showing me. I have 500 likes and follows on the Facebook page of the podcast. I would have never imagined that when I first started it, but you guys made it possible, and I have nothing else to say than thank you. You guys have no idea how much it means to me. Please check the podcast on Anchor, on Google Podcast, on Spotify, on Apple iTunes, whichever one you guys can access to. I'm gonna also upload this episode on YouTube for all my non-app listeners, as well as I'm gonna write an article based on this episode on my blog, which you can access on my website, which is www.kasturibanerjee.com, and it's gonna be pretty much all the tips I've said in this episode, so that if you want to go back and see what I was talking, you guys have a good reference point to look into it. And I'm gonna be wrapping up this episode. I have a very interesting guest for the next episode, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. And that will be it. I will see you guys the next time. Bye!